Hello, everybody. I hope that y'all can all hear me. Can you guys nod? Okay, good. Thank you. I am so sorry, y'all. I am at a baseball game for my boys, but that's the beauty of this business, right? But I am super excited to have tonight and to have my dear friend Kelly Allred back on. I know many of y'all have already heard from her because she is just absolutely incredible, and I am utilizing her as much as I can because she has honestly helped me so much in my business. She is one of my mentors and helps me along the way, helps me with advice that I need. But Kelly is our executive development of leadership here, director of leadership here at Q Sciences. She's been in the industry now, working on the corporate side of things for 20 years, y'all. So she knows her stuff. And that's why I wanted to bring her on. Y'all were having so many great questions about the weekly pay, how it's going to work, but also most importantly, how to utilize it to be able to recruit people into this business. And so who better else than someone high up in corporate who is going to be able to help us really dive in and understand it more. Her and Jake Spencer are super tight. He is the one who has created this absolutely incredible compensation plan that we have and this weekly pay. And so she is the best to deliver it. So Kelly, thank you again so much for being on tonight and sharing all of this information with us.
Yes, thank you. Can you make me host really quick? Guess
what? I am so on top of it. I already made you a host.
I should know.
No, I'm normally not on top of it.
Well, I'm glad. Okay, thank you guys. Thanks for coming on. I'm super excited for this group. It's growing and growing and growing, and actually Q Science is growing and growing. And one of the things that I absolutely love about the company, which is very different from most of the other companies, is that there's Mr. Jake Spencer. He releases something every 45 days, if not sooner, right? And I love his reason behind it because it's to keep things fresh, right? It's to have new opportunities to bring new people in for different reasons. And so it just keeps getting better, whether it's a promotion, whether it's weekly pay, whether it's enhancing the compensation plan, some of the promotions that we do. Some of the things is always just to help the field. So I really like that. So the most recent thing is this weekly pay, right? And so I know, I don't know if you guys know how it works and how you can utilize it, but I'm here to help you if not. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. And you'll see it's a little, okay, I shouldn't say it's confusing, but it's a lot for a minute, right? And you'll see as I talk about it, how auto shipments, the check, how to qualify for it, all comes full circle. Okay, so just have patience with the talk, and then we can open it up for questions if I need to clarify, because everybody knows I love to clarify. That's a fact. Okay, so let me share this. Okay. Oops, that's not it. Okay. One thing that you guys will know about me is that I make PowerPoints for everything so that I can remember, and so everybody else can visualize it. But okay, so the purpose and the reason to promote. First of all, for the obvious reasons, is you get paid quicker, right? So weekly versus the monthly build, which means instead of having this huge giant rush or push at the end of the month, each push should be at the end of the week, right? So you know that there's a ton of volume, which will still happen, which will still happen, but there's most of the volume that occurs at the end of the month when people are trying to make rank, right? So now the focus, as soon as it goes to US, we want to make the focus, instead of the month end push, we want to do a weekly push, because the faster that the volume comes into your organization, the faster you receive your checks, right? So monthly versus weekly. Let's just say, for instance, March is over with, right? And now anything that Katie's done, her rank that she made in March, will be paid April 18th. So she actually has to wait, almost 2 weeks, 3 weeks into the next month to get what she has earned in March, right? So for the month before, which isn't a bad thing, especially when you're making the money that she's making, and it's coming in there, right? But for everybody else, for a lot of other people, it means a lot to get paid as these increments go through, and as you do the work, you're getting paid for it. As you do the work, you're getting paid for it. Like Brandon Stevens will say, check, 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 right? So in all actuality, you'll see how you can get a check every single week, which is the ultimate goal. Okay. Someone new sees someone new succeeding, right? So there's no better story than somebody who's earned money really quick, right? And it doesn't have to be a huge amount of money. Here's the thing, in the industry alone, a lot of people don't make any money, let alone if they do, they're not paid for it exactly right then, right? So if your friend or your mentor or somebody you know in a business sees you succeeding or sees that you're making money, they're more likely to follow you, right? They're more likely to be like, okay, so she doesn't have to wait all this time, or this isn't a scam, or whatever people say, right? So someone new sees someone new succeeding is the best story. It's the best story to tell, right? And now having the weekly pay. Hey, guess what? My friend Katie, she actually made executive in 2 weeks and got her $750 bonus, right? In these increments. So we have a story to tell. We just have to tell it. Okay, funding your business quicker. Now we all know in order to make money takes money, right? So and per Sarah Spencer, who is our financial coach, right? She says a third of your check should go back into your business, which this is pretty cool because this actually helps you start funding your business a little bit quicker, right? So may that be some extra product, may that be some travel, may that be helping somebody to the event, right? May that be going to Australia to work your business. The point is that you're getting the money quicker. That way you can fund your business quicker, which means it'll grow faster. It'll grow faster. Okay. And then creating a story. Your stories all should be about how you got paid weekly, when you get paid weekly here shortly, right? And how you qualify for it. Oh, so you mean to tell me that you're getting these increment checks every single Friday? Yes, I get paid every single Friday. As long as I qualify for it, I get paid every single Friday. Okay. So this is where it's going to tie in at. Okay. So requirements. The requirements to get paid weekly is you have to have your own order. Okay. So check, right? And your 2 personally active people have to have their own order. Check. Okay. So let's say, for instance, your auto shipment is on the 15th. Okay. Let's say that most of your volume comes in at the first 2 weeks of the month. Because you didn't have your auto shipment in the first 2 weeks of the month, you won't get the check that you qualified for that week. Now, that doesn't mean you don't get the check ever. It just means you don't get it as soon. You don't get it as soon as you should. That's why you'll hear us all the time. We always talk about moving your auto shipments between the 1st and the 5th. Because if all of your auto shipments, think about this, if all of your business is done by the 5th, or most of it's done by the 5th, guess what happens on that next Friday? Whatever rank that you qualified for between the 1st and the 5th, let's say you qualified as an elite. The next Friday, it's like, does she have her order? Check. Does she have her 2 PEAs that have order? Check. Does she have the volume? Check. Okay, compute, out comes a check. You following me? So there's some misconceptions that, okay, well, it's actually not weekly pay if my auto shipment doesn't run until the 15th. Well, that's true. It's called not weekly pay for you, but it's weekly pay for everybody else that have their stuff done then, right? So make certain, that's why we want to push people from the 1st to the 5th only to pay you sooner. It does nothing for us, for the company. Well, what it does for you is get you the check, the story sooner, right? Okay, so if all of your business, or let's say most of your business is done between the 1st and the 15th, and in this case, Katie qualifies as platinum because we've pushed everybody to be on auto shipment. Her volume's in, and by the 15th, she's platinum. And guess what? By the next week, she's paid up to platinum. That leaves from the 15th to the 30th or the 31st to either solidify that rank up, right? To go for another rank, or at least get close to the next rank. So if we're pushing week to week instead of month to month, when you're pushing at the end of the month, what you're pushing for is volume to the next rank for next month. Okay? So the 15th through the 31st should be used to re-rank, to solidify that rank, and then or rank up early, or rank to the next one. Okay, ambassadors, customers on auto shipment. Again, we push auto shipment a lot. Why? Because if people are on auto shipment, you can count on that order. If people aren't on auto shipment, you can't count on that order, right? You have no idea if they're going to put that order in on the 30th or not. Like, it is unpredictable. So everybody who has an auto shipment, it's predictable. Sure, they could drop out, but it's more than likely they won't. But what is likely is if they don't have one, that they don't order, right? It's just too easy not to order. Now, I had a report pulled the other day in Katie's line, or ambassadors, and how many are on auto shipment. Now, let me tell you, it wasn't great. Okay, it wasn't the worst. I've seen worse, but it wasn't great. And so I'm thinking, with Katie, why, as a business owner, or why when you guys are recruiting people, why is on auto shipment even an option? Right? Because now, if you have them on auto shipment, the payback to you is weekly pay, is you get your paycheck early. And guess what? The ambassador who's expecting a paycheck that may or may not order on the 30th will not get paid during the weeks they're supposed to, because their order doesn't come until the end of the month. What if, this would be really sucky, right? You had your order, you have all your volume, you have one PA that ordered, one of your personally enrolled ambassadors, and your other one didn't until the 30th. guess what happens? That whole month, you don't get paid until the next month, because your one PA who's supposed to be on auto shipment isn't on auto shipment, and they order at the last of the month. Unpredictable, right? So you can see how these auto shipments, these 1st through the 5th, and this weekly pay all ties in together. I want to make certain everybody understands this and how to qualify for it and how to explain to people how to qualify for it. Because the first question I'm going to get is, Kelly, I had all this volume. I have my PAs, my auto shipment set for the 15th. Okay, in the first place, I'm going to say you need your auto shipment set on the 1st so that you can start collecting the weekly pay. And you know you're going to get the question. I'm going to get the question for a fact. Now let's talk about, so ambassadors is a given on auto shipment. It's just the way it goes. If your ambassadors, which according to your reports isn't great, but if they don't want to get on auto shipment, sign them up as a preferred customer. Like, they're a business owner, they've been screened, it's a requirement to be in your business, right? So that's a non-negotiable, and it should be non-negotiable from here on out. And any of your ambassadors that are ordering at the end of the month, I say you get a hold of them and say, let's make this a real business. Let's make this some money. I want to get you weekly pay. I don't want you to get paid at the very end of the month. I want you to get paid early, and let's start your auto shipment. Now, customers, okay, preferred customers, they're not obligated to order every month. However, we've made it really super enticing, right? So if they come in, they like the product, they're like, yeah, this is something I need to stay on every single month, they should buy the $50 smart ship, because an average order is $12. If you times that by 12, that's $144 that they spend on shipping. In this case, they only pay $50, right? And they get the whole month or the whole years of free shipping. And they get reward points. And if they're on 100, by the end of the year, they have quite a few reward points stacked up. So that's how we want to teach it to them, right? We don't have to pressure them right off the bat. It's not that big of a deal. All we really want to do is save them money, especially if they're on auto shipment. They get it. They get smart ship. They get basically 6 shipments, even more for free, right? You get the solid volume, and your business is predictable. Okay, so volume outside of auto shipment, you cannot count on. You're placing your business on a house of cards that will fall, because it's just unpredictable. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. And I'm going to say, so somebody's going to come to me with this question. Maybe not you guys, but somebody will. And they're going to say, okay, well, I had an ambassador that signed up on the 29th, and I'm having a really hard time to convince them to put their auto shipment between the 1st and the 5th, because they haven't even received their first order, right? Or they haven't even tried what they're getting into yet. They haven't even done it yet. And the answer back to that is the same answer that Jake did on Q News yesterday. And that is, you're always going to need some product on hand. He says you're only consuming 20% of your product. 80% of that product should go towards building a business. So if somebody happens to have $100 and something of product on hand, trust me when I say within the next 3 months, it'll be gone. It's an investment that you make, right? It only happens with those people that sign up at the end of the month. They're the only ones that kind of have a drawback. So you're going to have the rebuttal for it. And that is, it has to be an investment. They can sell the product, y'all. But let me tell you, if they sample it out, or if they start giving it to the right people, all it does is the effect of it takes money to make money. And in this case, the money is your product, right? So don't have that stop them from them getting their auto shipment between the 1st and the 5th. Why? It's not necessarily for you. It's because we want to pay them early. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm going to ask, do you guys have any questions? Do you understand that? Do you understand the weekly pay? Do you understand how to qualify for it? Who should I call on? I'm going to call on somebody. Who wants to tell me and the group how to qualify for weekly pay? What are the 2 things that you have to have? Who do I see? Amanda. I see Amanda's pretty face. Amanda Hall, do you want to say it? Unmute yourself. Did you unmute? Oh, it's not working.
I was being
There you go.
all at the same time. Hey, you have to.
Hi.
How are you, Kelly? You're awesome. You have to qualify because you have to have your auto ship on by the first and the 5th. Then you have to have your ambassadors as well signed up with 2 ambassadors with 2 customers, not 2 customers, 2 people underneath you that have 100 PV.
Yep. So your auto shipment, right, has to go through, check, and your 2 personally actives has to have their auto shipments go through, right? Check. What happens? I'm going to call on Katie. What happens, Katie, if one of your PAs, no, Katie Steinbreck, what happens if one of your PAs, your personally actives, doesn't order until the end of the month? Unmute yourself. Wait, you gotta unmute yourself.
You don't get paid till the next month.
You don't get paid the weekly pay, right? So do you see the benefit? Are you guys seeing the benefit? And why it's important to get people on the 1st and the 5th? So here's a cool thing. This last month, right? If weekly pay was in full force, like it's going to be here soon, March ended the 31st ended on Wednesday, right? So people who had all of their stuff in basically on the 1st would have got a check. You would have got a check weekly, right? Now, April 1st and April 2nd was Thursday and Friday, and it's part of a new pay period. If somebody would have qualified for a check then, because all of their auto shipments went through, or most of their auto shipments went through on the 1st, then they would have got 2 checks that next Friday. They would have got the rest of the check for March and the beginning of the check for April. Now let's get a few things straight as you're explaining this, right? Because you want to utilize this to grow your business. If somebody qualifies as an elite 1 week, they get $750 that next week, okay? The next week, if they qualify for bronze, they get the difference. So they have already got 750. The difference is 950, right? You guys understand that? They wouldn't get 750 and 1700 because that would be really cool. Now that's a story, right? But they get 750 and then they get the difference. And then the next week, if they hit silver, they've already gotten paid 1700, right? 750, 950. And then they get the difference, 2300, right? Which equals now 4000. Then if they put push for gold at the end of the month, they will get another $4,000 check because they were already paid up to $4,000. So make sure when people say that, they're not like, oh my gosh, so I get 750, then I get 1,700, and then I get 4,000, then I get 8. Not necessarily, but kind of. Okay, any questions about it? Understand how to say it, how to grow it, why we want you guys as auto shipments on the first, why you should want your auto shipments on the first? No questions? Okay, Katie.
This is amazing. And I just learned even more because y'all, and I will tell y'all this really quick, just a story. Going back to what Kelly said about, if you had somebody signed up at the end of the month, just to reiterate what she said and what Jake said yesterday. And you're having a hard time getting them to have their order processed again. I cannot stress to y'all how important it is to have product on hand. And I do see a lot of people like trying to like go resell it, if anything, and make some money off of it and get people hooked on the products. Don't sell it to each other. Get people hooked on the products to where they're going to want to continue to take them and become your customer. But over the weekend, I had a person who's really big in another company, like huge, at my house. And they asked me, do we have anything for sleep? Oh, y'all. They left with a ridiculous amount of products because I had them on hand and I would love to have them on my team. And they left with a lot of products and they're already taking them and they are already loving them and seeing results. You never know who you are going to be around who needs these products. Have samples on you as well. Like that is so, so important. I have a bottle of hemp oil with like little to-go droppers in my purse all the time. I'm literally giving samples out at school, in car pickup line, whatever. I probably look like a drug dealer, but hey, it's okay. And it works, y'all. These products work so quickly. So make sure you have them on hand and you can, resell them. So it's super, super important. Don't let that be an excuse. And every single one of y'all, if you don't have your auto ship on, I am challenging you to go and have your auto ship on and turn it on now so you can start earning that pay. I know a lot of y'all have already ranked up for this month, just where we are right now, the 6th of the month. I know many of y'all already have. What paycheck are you going to get next Friday if we were on weekly pay? Think about that. Is your auto ship on? Has it run yet? Do you have your 2 personally sponsored active ambassadors yet? If you don't have any of those, then I would get on it so you can start getting paid when this comes out very soon. I know you can start getting paid next Friday if that were to be the case. Kelly, thank you so much. I'm so sorry I was at a baseball game, y'all, but he normally does not have them on Tuesday nights and I had to come watch. I'm his biggest fan. But anyways, thank you so much. That was so helpful and just really getting down to it. I hope that all of y'all have benefited from what she said. Are there any questions before we jump off? Okay. Well, thank you so much and y'all have a great night.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.